Yes, we
Good
start.
afternoon to one and all present here. Welcome to this national webinar on developing machine learning applications using Python framework. Now I call upon our HOD sir Dr. T. Velpurgan to propose the welcome address. Sir,
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure to welcome the today's webinar chief guest, Mr. Srinivasan Thanukrishnan, founder and CEO of Glosys Technology Solutions Private Limited, Chennai. Mr. Srinivasan is my friend for the past 25 years, more than 25, 26 years. He having lot of exposure like teaching as well as industry. He having a teaching experience of more than 20 years, and for the past more than 10 years he having exposure with the industries. He is a person in knowledge sharing about the high performance computing and operating systems and software as a source for handling any kind of information regarding the World Wide Web and other kind of nano computing, grid computing, and cloud computing. The recent technologies, he have a lot of knowledge about the blockchain technology and other kind of IoT device oriented, industry IoT device oriented, everything. So, students, you can gain more knowledge from him. The person, today's webinar, resource person, having a lot of exposure in both teaching as well as industry, because such a kind of person is not possible to find out by ourselves. Okay, so welcome you, sir, on behalf of the Department of Computer Applications and on behalf of the college management principal and secretary. I welcome you once again. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
thank you, sir. Now I call upon Mr. N. Jagadishan, Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Application, to give introduction about our chief guest.
Thank you, Lata. Very good afternoon to all. I'm profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to introduce our chief guest of the day. He is none other than Mr. Srinivasan Thanukrishnan. He is the founder and CEO of Glosys Technology Solutions Private Limited. He holds a master's degree in computer science and engineering from Anna University and master's degree in business administration from University of Madras. He plays a key role in defining the strategy in terms of business development, resource management, technology transfer, benchmarking, conjoint analysis, and process improvement with his 25 years of IT experience. His primary interests includes artificial intelligence and data analytics driven secure smart SaaS applications for business. He is instrumental in designing and developing products for Glosys CRM site, Glosys HCM cloud, Glosys ITSM software, and Glosys intelligent analytics platform. He was earlier held the position of senior research fellow at IIT Kharagpur, and he published 60 research papers in various reputed international conferences and journals, including the role of program committee member, reviewer, and session chair. Based on his outstanding research service, he has been selected as a candidate for inclusion in the edition of Marquis Who is Who in the World, New Jersey, USA. He offered training to CTS System, Satyam Computer Service, Sintel India Limited, and Wipro Systems. He has been acknowledged as a Cognizant certified faculty by Cognizant Technology Solutions. He is a member of professional bodies include ISTE and Internet Society of ASA. He is an industry representative for academic institutions for AICTE and Federation of Indian Industries Survey. And he is a frequent speaker at industry and academic through active involvement in offering hands-on workshops and FDPs on data science using Python, R and Scala, deep learning using PyTorch and TensorFlow, big data and Hadoop, AI-driven blockchain, cybersecurity analytics, cloud-based IoT analytics using Raspberry Pi and ROS, AI-based mobile and web application using Node.js, ROR, Golang, Flask, Spring Boot, Angular, React, Android, and Flutter. And also keynote talks in reputed national and international conferences, entrepreneurship and business schools panel discussion, judge for application development hackathons, and board of studies expert committee members. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Nada.
Thank you, Jagdish sir. Now I hand over the session to our resource person, Srinivasan Thanukrishnan sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Professor Dr. Velmurugan, HOD of Department of Computer Applications, DG Vaishnav College, for having invited me to deliver such a wonderful webinar for the better benefit of the students community. Today, I'm going to show how machine learning applications can be developed using Python framework. Probably I would like to share my experience. And most probably everything will be in the form of understanding concepts thoroughly using Python, starting from analysis, design, development, and deployment. I have planned to elaborate my session in this following fashion. First, I'll be concentrating on machine learning in industries, what kind of impact machine is going to make or it has been making in industries, and what kind of services, machine learning services we provide from our own company, like other big and small and startup companies, how machine learning is going to be leveraged using Python frameworks, how deep learning is harnessing the power in IT industries with respect to various vertical domains such as healthcare, retail, telecommunication, and so on. And finally, we will see a few ML use cases in industries. And at the end of the session, probably I may be showing a few demos. My idea is to make a focus on development of the machine learning application using Python framework from the scratch to the advanced level. And also, I'm sure that the targeted audience will be able to follow whatever I speak. But this area, machine learning, is one of the topics is coming under artificial intelligence. So AI is the superset, which consists of machine learning as a subcomponent. Again, machine learning will be having another subcomponent, deep learning, and data science, and big data analytics. And all these areas are interrelated with one another to achieve the particular task. As far as the IT industries is concerned, we have a greater demand for the machine learning developers and data scientists and big data analysts, business analysts, and business executives, and ML administrators. So for all these roles, students can concentrate heavily by improving their practical knowledge. In ICT industries, we have various domains: retail domain, healthcare, transportation, education, communications, media and entertainment, technology and information services, automotive electronic systems, manufacturing, energy and utilities, and insurance. Normally, what happens, we will be developing the applications for other vertical industries. Probably everybody knows how you get a wonderful service from Amazon or Flipkart by browsing a set of products. When you are interested in placing the order for the products, what do you do in the Amazon or Flipkart? You keep on browsing the set of products available in the catalog. With respect to your choice, you may be selecting, and the selected product should be made available in the warehouse. That means the inventory checking will automatically be carried out. When the order is available from the other end, that will get confirmed. Again, those products will be delivered to your house. And before delivery or after delivery, you are permitted to pay the amount. The entire phenomena, whatever I say, is very obvious. Anyone can understand this phenomena, even the end user, even your parents, your grandparents, even children. Nowadays, school going students are capable of placing the order of any products as they wish. The only thing the parents are supposed to give the right pin number for transferring the amount, or during that time only the children may be getting help from their parents. So this is the total scenario of the e-commerce. What I have been telling is the e-commerce. In this e-commerce application, how machine learning is going to make an impact. For example, if you have an Amazon or Flipkart account for 1 year or 6 months, at any time, any user is able to see the past history. Okay, the past history. Depending upon your past transaction, depending upon the choice of items you selected, automatically the recommendation will be done from the machine learning applications. Recommendation. As per your choice, okay, the preferred items will be displayed in the front end. That's what I'm saying. For example, you are very much interested in watching a lot of music videos, or okay, you may be interested in viewing the music playlist. What will happen? After viewing every music, you may be giving the rating. So depending upon the rating, the music or the movie with the top rating will be displayed. And every movie or the music may be having the duration and the rating. Probably now you can understand where the machine learning comes. This is also coming under the scenario of the recommendation system. So another scenario I can tell from the healthcare. Nowadays, in healthcare, the doctors and healthcare providers, insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies, I mean life science industries, are heavily utilizing the power of machine learning and deep learning. At any time, right, the paperless work has to be done. That's the idea of the healthcare industry. I will be talking about the healthcare industry. So in healthcare industry, how I can apply machine learning? So I can give second example. The first example I already given from the e-commerce, where I was explaining the power of the recommendation system. In the case of healthcare, what I'm going to explain is medical text analytics or disease diagnosis. Disease diagnosis. So medical text analysis in the sense that, for example, how automation of medical text analytics can be carried out with the support of machine learning packages in healthcare industry. Normally what happens, if you do not use the computers, or if you do not use the technology or machine learning applications and all, earlier we had the hospital, but the entire system was in the form of lot of documents. Paper oriented work was existing earlier. Nowadays, everything has become computer oriented. Even when the patient wants to have a consultation with the doctor, the patient has to make an appointment. So the appointment cannot be given immediately. The appointment. Similarly, the electronic health record of the patients can be visualized at any time by the patients as well as doctors. But confidential issues will be maintained. So what I would like to tell you, suppose for example, whenever the doctor visits the hospitals, he may be dictating certain things to the nurse to take care of the patients. What the nurse will do, the nurses will note down the notes, or sometimes the doctor may be giving notes with respect to the concerned patient. So doctor's notes will be there for every visit, and they maintain it in the record log. Similarly, health record, the daily health status of each and every patient will be maintained by the healthcare industry, I mean hospitals. Now, how automated disease diagnosis and how automated ward management and how the medical textual information can be extracted from the physical documents. So now the problem, what I am going to mention is extraction of data, extraction of information from the physical document. So extraction of health data means extraction of the entity and extraction of the relationship. So with respect to health data, definitely every patient will be having a few attributes. Patient ID, for every patient, the hospital may be assigning certain things. Patient ID, patient name, when the patient got appointed, how long he has been in the hospital, and the discharge process, and everything will be there. Even test report, lab report, each and every attribute, whatever I'm going to say is nothing but features. Features. So these features will be represented in the form of columns. Suppose, for example, in the particular hospital, there are 100 patients, means 100 records will be there. For each and every record, such separate attributes will be maintained. This is what we call it as data set. So technically, we call it as data set. With respect to the scenario from the healthcare, what I wanted to tell you is text analytics. So how text analytics or health text analytics can be carried out by NLP. There is a subject called natural language processing, which is associated with the machine learning. So machine learning is AI is a very big subject actually. And so what you might have understood till now, definitely there has to be data. So first let me explain machine learning very clearly within 5 to 10 minutes. Everyone can understand. Then I can move through Python programming. I can show some demos. Some mathematical concepts will also be there. I don't want to mathematical concepts too deeply in the online session. But at the same time, I show little bit mathematical concepts in such a way that everyone can understand. No problem. It's easier. The only thing, you need to understand the concepts. You have to solve the problems. Actually, one thing I wanted to tell you, now whether you might have come from state board or central board or ICSE, BSc, CS or BCA or sometimes BTech or BE or even from any college, what you have to understand, why you are studying mathematics. The mathematics is being taught from the schools, even from first standard to the 12th standard. But the connectivity from the mathematics and the computer application, not only computer engineering application, any engineering disciplines, science disciplines. Okay. Now, there is a correlation between core mathematical subjects and machine learning topics, machine learning applications. Because what I have to do, I have to connect from school to college and college to industry. In industry, what we are expecting from the college students, final year students, when they come for the interview. That if I make it clear, everyone can understand, oh, For this purpose only I am studying maths. So I will come mathematics after some time. So far what I have explained, somehow with respect to e-commerce or recommendation system or text analytics, everywhere you find some data. Because with respect to the e-commerce, the product data will be there, and product recommendation with respect to the users, with respect to the choice of the users, the products will be recommended by the machine learning models. Similarly, in the healthcare, depending upon the health status of the patients, the conditions of the health for the particular patient should be maintained, and the lab report must be visualized and verified by the doctors, and they have to diagnose the disease. So like that, there are many applications, many problems. Probably I can give lot of scenarios from transportation, education, information services, electronic systems, and the insurance. Okay, due to shortage of time, I have taken only two domains, retail and healthcare. Before getting into the machine learning using Python and all, first you have to have a clear understanding of the key terms, data set. I think now I made it clear. What is the data set? Data set is nothing but a table. In the table, you will have certain records. For each record, you will have a set of attributes. For example, patient data. So in the hospital, they may be having 500 patients. For each patient, they will be having some information. So for each patient means record. I mean a set of patients. For you may be, suppose if you are having 500 patients, mean 500 records. For each patient, I have 10 attributes, mean 10 columns. That is nothing but the columns and rows, they form the matrix. That is a table. That is nothing but a data set. Second term, samples. So the data set is nothing but the table. For the time being, remember like that. Samples means records. I already said that if the hospital is interested in collecting 500 patients, means 500 records, 500 samples. Features mean for each patient, for example, 15 columns mean 15 features. So features, attributes, field, column, everything is same, synonyms. So once you have a clear idea behind dataset sample features, now you have to train the dataset using certain model. You have to develop a model. You have to develop a model using some training. Again, for the unseen data, you have to test the data. So there are two phases, training and testing, which are of primary interest in both machine learning as well as deep learning. I will show one example so that everyone can understand. This is a small training data set from all electronics. So if you look at this table, how many columns I have? 5 columns: age, income, student, credit rating, and class. The first 4 columns, the first 4 attributes are input attributes. The last one is the output attribute. That I have written 2 classes, yes or no. So what is the interpretation of this problem? First, you count the number of rows or number of records in this table. I hope 12 records will be there. So technically, I call like this. There are 12 samples in this data set. For each sample, I have 5 attributes: age, income, student, credit rating, and class. Out of these 5 attributes, the first 4 are input, the last one is the output. If you look at the values of the output attribute, I have 2 values, yes or no. So what I would like to tell you, so age, income, student, credit rating, I have 12 records. And suppose the people with the age, first I can give the interpretation of the first record. The people with the age less than or equal to 30, income is high, and he is not a student, but the credit rating is fair. Okay, whether he can purchase the computer or not. This is a famous example from one of the data mining textbooks. So what is the problem behind this table? Whether the particular candidate is able to purchase the computer or not, purchasing the computer or not. Similarly, whether the fraudulent transactions are existing or not. And similarly, whether the disease is, whether the disease is existing for the particular patient or not. Like that. Suppose a brain tumor, cancer detection. Cancers, brain tumor cancer has been detected or not. So these problems are called as yes or no problem. I call it as binary classification problem. So in machine learning, we start with the binary classification problem. As far as this problem is concerned, the candidate with the attributes age, income, student, crediting with the following values will be able to purchase the computer or not. This is the core idea of the machine learning. And probably this is one of the learning models. We call it as supervised learning model. Why I call it a supervised learning model? Because I have only one output attribute. If you look at the one output attribute, whether the computer can be purchased or not. So output attribute. Remaining the output attribute, I have 4 remaining input attributes. This is what we mean by supervised learning. When you talk about the learning, I already said that machine learning means what? How the machine is going to learn by itself. We human beings had the wonderful brain. And the brain, when you look at the anatomy of the brain is having a lot of billions of neurons which are interconnected with one another. It forms the network, like a traffic network. Even if you look at your brain itself, each and every neuron will be doing some functionality. For example, while you are going to watch the movie, certain neurons may be allocated for watching the movie. Certain neurons may be in parallel sending the message through the mobile. And in parallel, you can do a lot of activities. Okay, that's the idea of the parallel interconnected neural network. So the parallel interconnected neural network behaves like a brain, and we simulate it. That's why we call it as the artificial neural network. So artificial neural network is one of the supervised learning models in machine learning. We have a lot of learning models. There are 2 major categories, supervised learning model and unsupervised learning model. Yet another category is the reinforcement learning model. For the time being, let us concentrate on supervised learning model. I hope I made it clear. So with this basic prerequisites, now we will proceed further. If in the previous case, 14 examples were there. So what's happening now? Again, the training data, name, rank, years, tenure. Another example. This is another example. Training data, as far as this problem is concerned, how many records are there? 2, 4, 6 records. How many features are there? 4 features. Out of these 4 features in the training data set, the last tenure is the output classifier. Yes or no. So 3 attributes are there. So over this training data, because hereafter I used to make use of the word training data, testing data repeatedly, but you have to understand what it is. So over this training data, I may be applying the classification algorithms. There are many classification algorithms that and all you have to understand, and you have to solve the problems. It's a very big subject. Probably 40 or 50 classification algorithms are available, and each and every algorithm, as per the theoretical course you may be studying, I hope so, and that you have to solve it. I tell you one thing. Suppose I am recruiting one ML developer for my company, or Infosys or TCS or any big company, Zogo or Coda Global, interested in Accenture. All these companies are interested in selecting the machine learning developer or data scientist means, first you have to understand the concepts, then you must be capable of solving the problems. These problems only should be represented in coding. For example, write a C program to find the roots of the quadratic equation. You know the syntax of the C program, but unless you know the roots of the quadratic equation which you studied in 11th or 12th, how it is possible for you to write a program? Similarly, there are many classification algorithms, supervised classification algorithms, unsupervised classification algorithms. And one of the supervised classification algorithms only what we are going to discuss is neural network, because for this particular webinar, I would like to give an elaborate idea behind neural network because deep learning is a subcomponent of the machine learning. I already said. In deep learning is specifically concentrating on only neural networks. Okay. Now, so classification algorithms look at the training data. Again, you are creating a model. You are generating the model. You are generating the model from the classification algorithms. So what the model somehow, when I say the classifier algorithm, suppose you have to look at the neural network algorithm. Naturally, when I say neural network, you have to look at the neural network algorithm. You must understand properly and what I mean by input layer, hidden layer, output layer, what I mean by activation function. Let us see. Again, the model will be generated from the training data using neural network model. And the last one is if rank equal to professor or years greater than 6, then returned equal to yes. That is for the model construction. And again, model usage. Now, the last one, the model is giving the answer. If rank equal to professor, okay, or years greater than 6, then tenured equal to yes. Actually, this condition is not there. So these conditions are existing from the table. And even when you are going to make use of Bayesian learning algorithm or decision tree algorithms, support vector machine, rules will be followed. Rules will be formed. So what you have to understand, I have written something sklearn. Sklearn is coming under the Python package. For the time being, you note down, and because each and everything is a separate sub courses. Even in our industry, we give certification courses. If you join, you can understand in a better way. Okay. Now, using sklearn, you can construct a model. Again, using this sklearn, you will be able to test the data. So I already said the training and testing. What I am showing is the training data now. The second one is the testing data. sklearn model uses testing data. So what I am going to test, this is the test, unseen data. Okay, the test is Jeff professor, 4. Jeff professor, 4. So that is unseen data. Actually, testing data, Jeff professor, 4. What will happen? Training and testing data will be considered from the given data set only. Actually, you will be given only one data set. You can partition a few portions into the training and the remaining portion into test data set. Normally, we divide like this: 4:1, or sometimes 3:2, 80:20, or 3:1, whatever way. So test data you have to form. So these are the basic idea. Training data set you should know how to form. You should know how to form the test data set. Using the test data set, when I use the model, I mean classify a neural network, I'll be able to predict whether it is going to be yes or no. So for such kind of machine learning problems, we use neural networks. Okay, now what machine learning services we provide from our company? Even all the big companies are also providing the same kind of machine learning services, whether it's going to Google or Yahoo or Amazon or IBM and CTS and Accenture. All companies may be interested in providing such machine learning services towards their customers. So for our customers, what we do, we build the model. I already said we build the model and we train the model and test it. Then we will be deploying and training data sets. Now you know whatever key term I'm going to read. I hope everybody will be able to follow. Training data sets. So you are interested in training data sets. So data is not a simple term. And again, theoretically, now I have been speaking. But practically, when you get into the concepts, it seems to be very difficult. But of course, it's easier when you take practice. But you have to understand. For example, training data set. Who is giving data set? Next, you can ask many questions. Training data set. From where you are taking this data set? Who is providing data set? Actually, the problem is in industries, the data set will be taken from the transactional data, actually. For example, the bank, either SBI or Indian Bank, is having a lot of transactions with their customers. For example, for the past 6 months data, and what normally do, there are two activities will happen with respect to the data. One is database, another one is data warehousing. Database means current transactions. Data warehouse means past transactions. For example, particular customer is having account in the bank for 5 years. Okay, so 5 years transaction will be there. But the bank will be dealing with the current transaction. Similarly, the customer will also be interested in seeing the current transactions only. The past, for example, I have to fix the period, whether the 6 months or 3 months. What is the meaning of the current transaction? The duration of the current transaction, 3 months or 6 months, something like that. I have to tell. It may be varying from company to company. If I say the duration of my current transaction for the banking application is, for example, 6 months, and I keep it currently in the production server. And the previous data, I mean previous transaction, 4.5 years data, I may be migrating from the RDBMS to OLAP, that is data warehouse. So normally the past transactions will be transferred to another place that we call as a data warehouse. Actually, from the data warehouse only, from the past transactions only, always you do classification or clustering or prediction and all. But at the same time, the current data will also be associated with the past data, because at any point, suppose 2021 may be the current transactions for now, but in the next year, this 2021 will become the past data. So always along with the past data, the current data will be added. That you have to understand. That is the meaning of the data set. So data set. Normally what we do, normally the researchers will take the data set from the public website. But with respect to the industries, the data sets will be private. They may not be revealing, because for their own transactions, they will be using it. So formation of the data set itself is a big problem that you have to understand. We will see. And again, how to prepare the data, how to aggregate the data. So data itself is a very big problem, data preparation. So actually in industry, there is one role for the AI community. The role is called ELT practitioners. I mean, ELT practitioners. We used to say ELT practitioners or data analyst. The data analyst may not be dealing with the data modeling. Actually, the whole machine learning can have three major divisions. One is data preparation. It has to be prepared very well. Then data modeling. Once the model is over, data visualization. I mean, after finishing your training and testing data, you have to show the results to other people, and these results should exist in the front-end application user interface. So for time being, remember like that. First one, data preparation. I mean, data pre-processing will come under the data preparation. The second one is data modeling. The third one is data visualization. Data preparation, data modeling, data visualization. Please, you remember these three major concepts which will occur in both machine learning as well as deep learning. Now, whatever I say, data sets, how you can prepare the data, aggregate the data, training data sets, everything. I mean, data, everything is coming to the first one. But while you are going to deal with the training and testing, only data modeling comes. Okay. To store, update, and retrieve features. I already made it clear. Features is nothing but columns. Okay. You can store the features, you can update the features. At any point, you'll be able to retrieve the features. The ML models and algorithms. This is a second component. ML models and algorithm. There only your supervised classifier or neural network will be existing. So whatever way you are going to develop the machine learning applications, finally you have to deploy in the cloud. Deploy in the cloud, which consists of the clusters. You remember like that. Server. Some server you have to deploy. And that cloud server may be connected to any devices through Wi-Fi or offline mode or online mode, whatever way, in terms of the networking equipments and all. So definitely you need to have wonderful, high performance, cost effective, scalable infrastructure. Okay, without wonderful, high performance, cost effective, scalable infrastructure, you may not be able to run machine learning or deep learning applications. Similarly, in the ML workflow, now I already made it clear, ML workflow. ML workflow means first you have to collect the data, you have to store the data, and you have to transform the data from one form to another form. because the data may be having noise. So whatever data you are going to collect, it may have some noise. What is the meaning of noisy data? For example, suppose the students appear for 5 subjects. Okay, Tamil, English, Maths, Physics, Chemistry, like that. So for each and every subject, the maximum mark will be 100. When the after correction, unfortunately, in the COE side, controller of examination side, error is happening. So actually, the maximum mark 100. Somehow, instead of 100, someone has put 101. It may not be accepted. Similarly, it should be within the range 0 to 100 only. -1 is not permitted. 101 is not permitted. So negative value or above 100, below 0 or above 100, not permitted. So somehow the wrong data is going to appear in the actual data. You have to remove that noise. Okay, noise is nothing but wrong data. You have to remove the noise. So the noise can be removed by certain mechanisms that we call as a data cleaning. So data cleaning, data extraction, data transformation, data loading, everything will come under the first phase, data preparation. The second phase is data modeling. In data modeling, we already discussed training and testing. Data visualization deals with the report analysis. Fine. We will see the word bias later, because when I'm going to run the code, you can understand what we mean by bias. Then, yeah, anyhow, after generating the model, you have to optimize the model. What is the meaning of the model? You have to optimize the model. And for after generating the model, you will find certain metrics: accuracy, precision, recall, and all these measures will have to be found. Whatever key terms I am telling towards undergraduate students, just you note down for the time being. Okay, don't worry. So you will be experimenting certain models using Python, and you have to train the data and test the data, and finally you have to find certain outcome with respect to metrics: accuracy, precision, recall, and all. Final accuracy has to be normally above 95%, 99% for any experimentation. This is data partitioning and model partition. These are the advanced concepts coming under the data set as well as modeling in terms of the GPU clusters, because nowadays in the context of deep learning only, we make use of data partitioning, model partition. Once you develop the ML, and it has to be tested, that is continuous integration and continuous delivery, and these models can also be existing on the devices. So whatever I say, everything may not be available in the actual textbook. This is the actual strategy we are following in the industry. So CI/CD service, models on devices, and with respect to GPU, data partitioning, model partitioning, we follow. Now I get into the Python. Slowly I explain the programming to some extent, then mathematical part to some extent. Finally, I run the demo. When you are now, this is a programming part, machine learning using Python. So I have a Python libraries for machine learning. First of all, before getting into the actual ML packages based on Python, one should be strong in understanding basic Python. And also, while you are going to develop any application, the application should follow the object-oriented programming. I mean, object-oriented programming style in terms of classes and how you can create an object, how you can make use of the inheritance, polymorphism, like C++ and Java. Python is also following the style of object orientation. Such object orientation you have to follow. Python libraries for machine learning. And one after another, I can tell you now. NumPy is first library. So you have to take some practice using NumPy. NumPy is dealt for dealing with the array, multi-dimensional array. Then data pre-processing using pandas. So what are the functionalities of data pre-processing? I already said. I hope everybody is able to recall. Data pre-processing means why I have to pre-process the data? Before I send the data towards the training or testing, the data must be clear. The data must be in the proper format. Then only it may be suitable for training and testing. So the data should not have wrong values. I mean, and similarly, the data should not be missing. If there is a missing value in the data set, you have to find the missing value. The missing value can be replaced or missing value can be dropped. Now, theoretically, I use the word you find the missing value in the data pre-processing, clean it, eliminate it, and you find the noisy value. Fine. Practically, how will you be doing? This is the question. So in industry, what we are expecting from the students must be capable of understanding the concepts through problem solving. Definitely mathematical skills are required. Apart from mathematical skills, you should write the code. Because anybody can say, okay, you can clean the data, you can transform the data, and you have to filter the data. But how it is going to happen? Through the code. So I will run the pandas programming. So this is specifically, we have the pandas programming for data pre-processing. Similarly, sklearn, another package is sklearn, which is useful for implementing supervised learning and unsupervised learning. And matplotlib is used for data visualization. So what are the packages I introduced today? NumPy, pandas, sklearn, matplotlib. So NumPy is basically used to create arrays, and array can be indexed, and arrays can be sliced. Arrays can be sliced means at any time I'll be able to count the number of elements in the array. I can divide the particular array into two portions. Everything is possible. Two arrays can be concatenated, and why I am doing, please take practice. And data pre-processing using pandas, because now on the whole, you will be having three major activities in machine learning. Finally, I touch upon deep learning, machine learning. One is data pre-processing, data preparation, data pre-processing, data modeling, data visualization. Data pre-processing, and what do? You have to create the data frame. I'm talking data pre-processing in terms of pandas. Pandas is one of the libraries in Python. So data frame is nothing but the data set. Okay, because when you are going to analyze data pre-processing using pandas, we have the alternative terms for data sets. That's all. And data frame is nothing but the data set. So you can create the data frame. The data frame can be created using dictionary. What is the dictionary? As per JSON, it will have the key value pair. Similarly, we have a lot of data frame operations. I can sort the data in the data frame, and I can remove the duplicate rows. If I happen to find any missing value in the data frame, I can replace the missing value. At any time, I can group the data that we call it as the binning. So in the pandas data structures, we have three more concepts: series, data frames, and panel. Series is nothing but one-dimensional data. Data frames, two-dimensional data. Panel is three-dimensional data. What we have to consider today? Data frames, two-dimensional data. Why we are using pandas? Pandas is basically used for data pre-processing. Again, pandas is capable of dealing with the descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics means with the capability of the pandas, it can give the values for mean, median, mode, variance, correlation, whatever parameters you are going to discuss under statistics. Because in machine learning, statistics is going to play a vital role. And re-indexing. When we are going to look at the program, we will see what we mean by re-indexing and how we are going to deal with indexing, how I am going to select the data, and how I can look at missing data. If the missing data is going to occur in the data set, how I am going to eliminate or drop it. So pandas demo, I will finish first modeling. At the end, first you remember, I have to run pandas demo through programming. So finally, last 10-15 minutes, it will be like a programming class. Just listen, note down. I hope I am going slowly and steadily in such a way that everyone can understand. Fine. Now, second phase, what we are going to discuss is the data modeling. I already said data modeling. In data modeling, we have a lot of algorithms, supervised learning algorithms, unsupervised learning. So what I am going to discuss today is the neural network. Actually, sometimes when you deal with the neural network, it may seem to be very complicated, but if you really understand through problem solving, it will be very, very easier, because the whole neural network is the uh, is playing a vital role in deep learning. If you do not have a strong foundation of neural network, you cannot understand anything from deep learning in terms of CNN architectures or RNN architecture, because deep learning is the another subject actually. Okay, advanced machine learning. So what I mean by neural network, I already said that our brain is having billions of neurons. Each and every neuron is connected with one another to achieve the particular task. That brain only actually we are simulating in our artificial neural network. So what is meant by neural network? A set of connected input-output units where each connection has a weight associated with it. And I will show the diagram so that you can understand. During the learning phase, the network learns by adjusting the weights so as to be able to predict the correct class label of the input tuples. Input tuples means input records. Class label means output class. Now, please remember from the data set whatever I say, whatever I said. Okay, network learns by adjusting the weights. So this is one simple diagram. Actually now I get into the somewhat neural network now 3:20, no problem. Even in the afternoon, I motivate you, okay, to pay careful heed onto such subjects with interest. If you look at this neuron, actually our brain is having lot of neuron. I already said. Okay, this is the input vector x0, x1, xn. So what I mean by, suppose for example, I have been talking to you and you have been attending my class. What is happening? I have been delivering means I am giving my information as output, and you are receiving my output information as the input for you. So you try to understand what I mean by. Okay. So for example, you try to understand what I speak. That is nothing but the input vector x0, x1, xn. Like for the time being, remember, like, because the huge max will be there. Again, for each and every x0, x1, there will be the weight w0, w1, and wn, and some weighted sum will be there. Okay, summation weighted sum will be there. After that, one activation function is there. That means there will be one strike, and it will be a non-linear function. Non-linear function. Even our brain is also capable of doing the non-linearity. For example, nowadays, if I ask one question towards you, which is a very difficult task in our life? Modeling human behavior. For example, you may be having three or four friends, okay, surrounding you. A particular time, once to your friend is asking some amount, okay, please help me. I have met with some problems. I need 5,000. For example, your name is Babu. Your friend's name are going to be Balu and Gopu. So Balu is asking 5,000 rupees from Babu. So Babu is having. Babu wants to help Balu. The moment Balu asks, Babu is giving. But when the Babu is giving the money to the Balu, Balu is the borrower. And he is giving promise. After 1 month, I give the money back. 1 month has gone. And again, 2 months have gone. Next time he's asking money. And he's telling that he has to give a proper answer, actually, as a borrower. But what he is telling, no, now I cannot give. I don't have. So, what kind of experience the Babu is having? I mean, the person who was given the amount, some negative experience. Oh, actually, I helped him, but at the same time, not able to collect the money from him. Some negative experience. Similarly, again, another friend, okay, Gobu is asking some money, 10,000 rupees towards the Babu. Babu is fair enough to give money, or is fair enough to help others. And he didn't think about earlier negative experience. But at the same time, the Babu wants to help this person also, Gobu. Okay, he is immediately giving 10,000 to Gobu. Again, Gobu is giving promise. Okay, after 2 months, I give 10,000. Again, 2 months have gone, 3 months, 4 months. Even Gobu is also thinking, okay, give money back to Bob. What will be the behavioral pattern of the Bob? So from these two negative experiences, next time he will be very keen in helping others. Even though he is having money, he may not help. So this is kind of the problem. So some linearity or non-linearity is not able to judge others. That I call it as a active function. That's all. For the time being, I tell active function. And again, some function will be there. You have to multiply this wixi plus mu. Okay. What's happening? You please look at this graph. Quickly, I can explain. If you look at this graph, 1, 2, 3, this is the input layer, technically called as the input layer. 4, 5, this is the hidden layer, and 6 is the output layer. So 1, 2, 3 are going to be the input units. Input units. Each and every input unit is connected to the hidden units. Actually, this is what happening in the brain. Okay, the 1 is connected to 4, 2 is connected to 4, 3 is connected to 4. Again, the unit 4 in the hidden layer is connected to the unit 6 in the output layer. 5th unit is connected to the 6th one. And if you look at this link, I have written W14. What is meant by W14? There is a link which is connecting the first, the unit 1 from the input layer. Unit 1 from the input layer has been connected to the unit 4 in the hidden layer. That is all called as W14. That means these two neurons are connected with one another to pass information from the input layer to the hidden layer. And these are the hidden units. This is the decision-making layer. This is the decision-making output. So what you can understand, please now you recall your data set. As per the data set, okay, these are the attributes. These are the features. That's what I have written, x1, x2, x3. I have only one record here, and x1, x2, x3. These are the input attributes. The final output is 6. Actually, in between, I have written a lot of calculation. These are all these values of the parameters are obtained from the algorithm. Okay. So what will happen? In order to connect the units of the input layer with the units of the hidden layer, you have to have the weight values. W1 is connected to 4, 2 is connected to 4, 3 is connected to 4. I mean W14, W24, W34. This is fully connected graph. Similarly, here again 1 is connected to 5, 2 is connected to 5, 3 is connected to 5. And again from the input layer, hidden layer, every unit is connected to the every other unit in the output layer. So W, these are the weight, and I will be having some bias. Okay, and that we call as a theta 4 and theta 5 and theta 6. So what you have to understand before moving with other parameters in the neural network, just please listen. Okay. This is a simple algorithm, but you have to work out, but we don't have time. Let me explain what it is. You have to initialize all weights and biases in network, and you have to calculate this output. So what I am going to do, only there are many steps in the backpropagation neural network. This is a backpropagation neural network. It's a complete mathematical portion. Okay. But I tell you, there is a bigger demand for the machine learning and deep learning. Everybody is telling that AI, you have a lot of jobs. But I can tell you, if you are going to be the average student or above average student with respect to mathematics, you can do wonders. I give the proper statement. Okay, even 10th and plus 2, whatever max you are doing, that's sufficient. So you have to follow, that's all. Now, and if with respect to this graph, first I am showing, 1 minute. This is the network. I already said, okay, these are the input units, this is the hidden units. Fine. Now, how I am getting this output? Let me explain this only one part. Remaining things you please study from the textbook itself. Now, 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th unit. First, I have to calculate the output. 1 by 1 plus e power minus x. This is nothing but a sigmoid activation function. I already said that non-linearity. The behavioral pattern of the particular person cannot be understood. So 1 by 1 plus e power minus x. This is the activation function. And here what I am doing, simply remember like this. If I show this graph, for time being, you remember like that. For every node, there will be input and output. For example, for this 4, you have to calculate I4, O4. For 5, I5, O5. For 6, I6, O6. That's sufficient. Now let me explain how you are calculating I4. That's all. How you are going to calculate I4. This is very simple. What you have to do, you have to multiply x1 into W14 plus x2 into W24 plus x3 into W3. Very simple. Whichever links you are having from the previous units in the input layer, just you do the multiplication and summation, weighted sum. X1 into W14 plus X2 into W24 plus X3 into W34. This is nothing but the I4. Are you able to follow? And O4 is nothing but, having computed I4, O4 can be computed like this: 1 by 1 plus e power minus this I4. 1 by 1 plus e power minus I4. This is what I am doing here. If you look at the value, X1 1, X2 0, X3 1, and W14, okay, W24, W34. Like that, other weight values are also there. W14, W24, W34. So you multiply 1 into 0.2 plus 0 into 0.4 plus 1 into minus 0.5. You are getting minus 0.7. And how you are calculating the O4? O4 is nothing but 1 by 1 plus e power minus I4. So 1 by 1 plus e power minus of minus 0.7. 1 by 1 plus e power 0.7. That is nothing but 0.32. Now you tell me, is there any difficulty? Nothing. So as such, you will be able to compute the output value, value for each and every unit. So what is my interest? First, okay, sir, you are telling some diagram, you are showing some neural network. What is my interest? The interest is, suppose this is the 101. 101. This is the input attributes, first record. The actual value is 1. The output class label. Always, you please recall the previous data set. Yes, no. I returned some age, income, credit rating. Similarly, here I have three attributes. 1, 2, 3. The final one, 6 is the output. The actual output is 1. But what you are going to do now, while you are going to test, again you have to get the same one. If there is any deviation, error will occur. So this is the actual output is 1. And you do some computation. Finally, you are reaching I4, O4, I5, O5, I6, O6. So O6 is the computed value. Actual value is 1. While you are going to compare computed value and actual value, if there is any deviation, I call it as the error. This error must be minimized. For generating the model. Again, for unseen data. Once I can tell you, it's very simple. And again, lot of concepts are there. For time being, I leave it. But while you are going to work out this algorithm, I tell you, normally what the students are doing in any college, arts and science or engineering college, they memorize the algorithm without solving algorithms. I tell you one important thing towards the entire students community. We are interested in selecting the ML developer or deep learning developer or data scientist. Means in the curriculum itself, you have algorithm. Whether the university may be asking problem solving or not is not a problem at all. You must solve problem, you must enjoy by yourself. For understanding that algorithm only you are going to represent in terms of Python packages in some other fashion. That's all. And those packages, again, you have to take practice. That programming part is totally different. But at the same time, if you do not have a basic problem solving for each and every machine learning algorithm, for example, data structures, algorithm, DBMS. So the one thing I tell you, the whole computer science is not a theoretical subject. It is a pakka mathematical problem formulation for every subject. That you have to understand. Okay. And sixth step, I already said, if you look at the eighth step, ij, summation j, wij, oj plus theta j. What I am doing? I am multiplying weight and output of the previous one, 1, 2, 3 plus theta. Theta is the bias. What I am putting? Oj equal to 1 by 1 plus e power minus j. This is output. What hereafter I don't want to explain due to the shortage of time. I'm getting the error. Now you know the meaning of the error, at least, because all these terms I am interested in explaining, because instead of telling small, simple algorithms, it is having a very powerful package. And you have to, so the whole idea is you have the data set, you have certain samples and attributes, and you have to train using the conserve algorithm. Here we are interested in applying the backpropagation neural network, and I'm computing the output value for each and every unit from the hidden layer to the output layer. But if you look at this subject, what will happen here? Only one hidden layer is there. Here only one hidden layer is there. This is input layer, hidden layer, output layer. Only one hidden layer. But you can have multiple hidden layers. You can have multiple hidden layers. That you please understand. Okay. Now, after this step, so OJ you are getting. So as I said earlier, the actual value is 1, and you are going to compute, you are going to derive something. For example, it is going to be 0.8. There is a difference with respect to the error. How that error is going to be back propagated. So again, for each unit j in the output layer, you do the error computation in each and every layer. You do traversal from the output layer to the hidden layer to the input layer. That we call as a gradient. It's nothing but the partial derivative. I think differential calculus, the students might have studied +1, +2. Actually, most of the students do not know the application of trigonometry, differential calculus, integral calculus, matrices in maths. But in higher classes and engineering, especially in industry, development industry or research industry, heavily used. No doubt in that. Without purpose, why they are having syllabus in university or colleges? So error is going to be computed. So what is really happening? I don't want to illustrate the complete algorithm. It will take more time. Instead, I can explain. The only idea is the actual value is 1. Through computation, you are getting some 0.7. So there is a difference error. This error has to be minimized. In order to minimize the error, you do traversal again from 6, 5, 3, 6, 4, 1, and 5, 2, 3, 2, 1. Back propagation. And why you have to back propagation? For computing the error, but at the same time, your objective is to update the weights. The next iteration, the weights will be changed. These weight values will be changed. So initially, you initialize certain weights. Okay, initially you initialize the weights. Sometimes you can ask, sir, weights are fixed. No, dynamic. Because randomization, you use the randomization for initializing the weights. You do the computation, you get the error. In order to reduce the error, you do the back propagation from the output layer to the input layer. Again, the second iteration, iteration 1, iteration 2. The iteration 2, again, you will be having new weight values, new W14, W15, and W24, W35. It's what happening here. That's all. Please look at it. Complete calculus. I tell you, if you're really going to solve this problem, it will take 1.5 hours. But this 1.5 hours is going to be the basis for your neural network. With that only, anyone can become a machine learning developer, especially with respect to neural network and deep learning developer, because we are in shortage of people. Actually, we have a lot of jobs, but we are not able to select the proper candidates with respect to the problem solving and programming part. Similarly, now, as I said earlier, for each and every unit you are calculating error 6, 5, 4. Again, the weights are going to be changed. Please look at it. All the weights, you follow the algorithm, you have a new weights and bias value. Again, these weights will be applied over the entire machine learning process. I think now I can go back. Because if I don't illustrate, there's no point in telling what I'm going to explain. Okay. Well, quickly, I can get into the programming after some time. Actually, I wanted to tell so many things, but for the sake of the undergraduate students, I'm going slowly and steadily. So after assume that now you developed the model, you trained the model, you tested the model, and it is capable of doing the proper classification. And as I said earlier, you have to do the hyperparameter tuning, initialization of the weights, and you have to select the activation function. I said 1 by 1 plus e power minus x. Like that, you have a lot of function, tan h function, and like that. Optimization algorithms are there. These optimization algorithms are going to be useful in the case of error computation. Error computation. One of the optimization algorithms is gradient descent. You can remember gradient descent algorithm. So gradient descent algorithm I am using for computing errors. And learning rate. Learning rate will also be used because some students may be learning very quickly. Some students may not be learning very quickly. Like that, in the neural network itself, learning rate is there. That neural learning rate you have to assume by yourself. So again, with respect to initialization of weights, how do you assign the weights? Randomization of the weights. The weights can be assigned through the normal distribution or uniform distribution. Just to you note down all these points. That's all. Activation functions. 1 by 1 plus e power minus x sigmoid. Similarly, tan h, ReLU, leaky LeLU, ELU. Lot of formulas will be there. You have to use. And optimization algorithms. Stochastic gradient descent. Why this optimization algorithm I'm using in the data modeling? I tell you, everybody is interested in studying machine learning. But data modeling means completeness. And after computing the error, you want to reduce the error. So the errors can be reduced by gradient descent, stochastic gradient descent, which is one of the optimization algorithms. Similar to stochastic gradient, many algorithms are there. Momentum, ADA grad, ADA delta, RMS prop, ADAM, everything. Please you solve. I tell you one thing. In our company, even BSc Computer Science, BCA, BE, a lot of students join certification courses and developer programs for a longer period, and they have proper mathematical knowledge and coding. Coding is very important. What is required for the industry? Sometimes we intern will also be given after some time, and they get into the bigger companies with the greater salary. That is very important. So here the skills are acquired apart from the mathematical skills. Again, some lot of formula will be going on. I skip it. Stochastic gradient descent. How do you do regularization? And what is this update? Weight update. That's one. Because I said that for every iteration, weights will be very new for minimizing the error. Stochastic gradient descent, updating the parameter, and overfitting and underfitting. This is the only thing theoretically you can understand, and practically also we will be able to show. Overfitting and underfitting means with respect to the training data and testing data, how the data has been distributed. So with respect to the distribution of the data only, you will be able to quickly look at it, whether overfitting data or underfitting data. So learning rate, you can have a low learning rate, high learning rate, optimal learning rate. I tell you, which learning rate is better? Optimal learning rate. Because some students may be studying very last minute. Suppose tomorrow you have an exam. Now, most of the students, what do you do? Last minute you are studying. High learning rate without wasting a single minute. 10 hours, 12 hours you are studying, group study, everything with a vacation. But actually, you may not be able to derive complete knowledge. But this is what happening in the Indian scenario. But optimal learning rate is even during college days with the interest, like how I am watching movies, how I play football, how I play cricket. Actually, you need to have the passion. You have to have the passion and vision for doing anything, because we are very happy to say that new Indian cricketer Natarajan, actually he has come from the rural place, but to which extent he has gone. So the pain is there. So he has put lot of pain. Accordingly, he has lifted and he has reached his momentum. Like that, any students from any colleges, rural places or city places, don't underestimate your knowledge. Every one of you is highly valuable. You please try to have passion and vision to study. Okay. So because of the learning rate, I have an option to tell such kind of motivation. And again, this is the linear regression, another algorithm, but we don't have time. But anyhow, this is not a difficult one. Linear regression, you already studied. How to fit a straight line, y is equal to mx plus c in lower standard, 8th standard or 9th standard. So if you look at that problem, y is equal to mx plus c, you can fit a straight line. And basically, fitting the straight line is used for prediction. Similarly, linear regression, logistic regression is used for prediction. Again, now, anyhow, I remember before 4 o'clock, just I run 2 or 3 programs. I've lost 10 minutes, I run the program. Just I touch upon other concept, deep learning. Just to note down, okay, some new terms you try to derive from the industry expert here and there. For the deep learning also, you have a lot of Python libraries. And in deep learning, what you do, you will be having a lot of hidden layers, actually. Hidden layers will be more and size of the network. You have a lot of architectures, CNN architectures and RNN architectures. Normally for image processing, for text analytics, image processing, you will be using CNN. For text analytics, you will be using RNN. Now you can ask one question, sir, what we mean the image analytics? Every day, knowingly or unknowingly, you are dealing with the image processing. Okay. Suppose you take a photo, selfie, and suppose somebody is having a black color and they want to change the black color into white color with respect to the skin, bridegroom or bride, whatever it is. And something, why we are doing all these things? Because we want to beautify ourselves and we want to present very well. So image processing is actually we are having lot of our personality traits by ourselves. For example, our eye is the lens. Okay, I'm able to see any image within my range, and what kind of image processing I can do by myself. So what kind of image processing activities my eye can do. Similarly, the machine learning is having the capabilities of the lot of image processing. One of the concepts concepts coming under the image processing, image captioning. Image captioning means, for example, there will be uh, one image, and certain objects are there. Certain objects in the sense that cat is there, some rat is there. It is assumed that the cat is chasing the rat. In the image itself, anyone can say the cat is chasing the rat. Now, if I show this back image to you, any human being can tell by looking at the image. Oh, here, as with respect to this diagram or image, cat is chasing the rat. Now I ask one question. This image I am going to show towards one computer. But how the computer is able to tell the cat is chasing the rat? That is the concept. So image captioning. Okay. Another one from the text, RNN. Why recurrent neural networks are going to be useful for text analytics? Knowingly or unknowingly, as an end user, we do many things from the Google. For example, in the Google search box, you type something. The moment you type, for example, the moment you type Java, you are getting Java language or Java island. The moment you type anything in the search box, correspondingly, you may be having different terms which will be popped from the background. From where it is coming? In general, we used to say from the server it is coming, from the database it's coming. No. It is coming with the help of RNN only, recurrent neural networks, using the text modeling. So all the day-to-day activities are implemented using CNN and RNN. Just I show Python libraries for deep learning. At least you can note down, because this is the advanced area. There will be the concept called Keras and TensorFlow, Keras programming, TensorFlow programming, PyTorch programming, MXNet programming, CV2 programming, NLTK programming. 6 different programming concepts are available for implementing deep learning. Keras, TensorFlow, PyTorch, MXNet. So if you are going to understand all these packages one after another, you can get into the deep learning. This is the one of the use cases of deep learning. Digit recognition. How the machine itself is going to recognize the digit. Digit recognition means the machine is going to look at the character A. It has to say A. So it is following the concept called Lenet architecture. Using Lenet architecture or AlexNet or VGGNet, digit recognition can be performed using CNN. And in this deep learning, you have a lot of concepts. Actually, due to shortage of time, I skipped this. ConNet, fully connected layer only we discussed, deep neural networks. Okay. Again, convolutional layer and pooling layer, lot of mathematical concepts are there. And if you look at any image, suppose this is the car image, and suppose if there are car and a truck, a car has to be distinguished from the truck. How the image classification can be carried out? and each and every pixels will have to be analyzed through the low level features. This is the low level features, mid level features, high level features. In the high level features only, you'll be actually getting the shape and features learning. Now I have different types of vehicles, and when I am going to pass a set of this data set, pass it to the CNN, it will be able to distinguish this is a truck, this is car, airplane, all these things. The object classification, image classification can be easily implemented through the CNN. Again, softmax is the classifier which is capable of classifying this. So finally, deep neural networks, that is nothing but this is a foundation for deep learning. You have a batch of data, sample a batch of data. In reality, what will happen, you'll not be having 10 records. You'll be having 1 crore, 50 lakhs. And entire 50 lakhs will not be considered as it is. 50 lakhs records will be divided into different batches. Each, for example, if I have 1,000 records, and I can have 10 batches. Each batch can have 100 records. That's the meaning of batch. And forward it through the network to get prediction. We already done forward propagation from the input layer, hidden layer, output layer. Finally, you are computing the error. And back propagate the errors. I already explained. Update the weights. And based on that, the training is going to be carried out. A lot of operations available in the Linux layer. And you have different CNN architectures. AlexNet, ZFNet, VGGNet, GoogleNet, ResNet. All these are advanced. The students are capable of understanding anything, even from BSc, BCA. They can easily get into any company. Okay. And similarly, image processing, you have a lot of activities. You can do it. And finally, some TensorFlow demo also I show you. And before getting into the programming, there are certain use cases. Many use cases are available, scenarios. I already explained from the e-commerce as well as I think recommendation system and healthcare analytics and image processing, customer behaviors prediction, personalized recommendation, document analysis, machine translation, anomaly detection, and chatbot development. Chatbot is, I think most of you might have seen chatbot, right? For example, if you happen to look at any web application where the user front end and back end and database. Front end may be developed using HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript and Ajax and Bootstrap. And back end, you can use any one of the languages. I think I'm talking about the full stack web application development, either Ruby on Rails or Node.js or Python Flask or Python Django or Spring Boot. But what is happening? You have a web application. On the bottom right corner, some window will appear. That is nothing but the chat bot. Chatbot means whenever the customer is interested in making a complaint towards a service center, nowadays what is happening? One person, physical person from the service center will be talking to you. Okay, oh, your complaint is booked. I will visit your house. Within this 24 hours, your complaint will be resolved. Actually, the physical person has to come. Nowadays, what's happening in future, instead of the physical persons, software chatbots are capable of talking to the customers. That's what we mean by chatbots. And we have Dialogflow from the Google, Bit.ai from the Yahoo, Bit.ai from the, Facebook, and Lex from the Amazon. And text summarization, automated image captioning in drones and all. Drones have the capability of carrying out image captioning and speech analytics, Alexa and Siri. Now everybody knows, Alexa, you do this. And I have the personal assistant, Siri, you implement this. And go and bring this book. And I can assign any kind of task to the Alexa or Siri, but these devices will have to understand what I am speaking. That is very important. So in future, a lot of things are going to happen. Magic is happening and video activity recognition. So with this, I stop. Now I run the 2 or 3 programs just to listen. Anyhow, I'm very happy that you are waiting for, you have put your efforts to listen to my talk for nearly 1.5 hours. Just 10 minutes, I run certain programs, then you will be happy with that. That's all. So this is the example for the data pre-processing, pandas, because pandas and keras, 2 scenarios, I want to show one demo within 5 to 10 minutes. Just you look at the program first. Suppose the very big, when the scratch I have gone up to the advanced level, but when you are going to experiment any application, first you should not deal with any application with 500 lines or 10,000 lines. Actually, in reality, we have a lot of LOCs. But you have to start from a small piece of code, then you have to assemble, and there is a possibility for developing any machine learning applications. Now, it's a very simple one. Straight away, I think I go to the okay, import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP, and pd.series. This series is nothing but one-dimensional data. 5, index equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, print of is. So if you are going to run this program, what is happening? 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 5. Please look at this code, what I have shown. This is the this is the data set, one-dimensional data set. The value is 5. The value 5 is going to be displayed for all the 4 samples. So if you look at the code, 4 samples, this is one data set. I am generating data set from myself, because this is the kind of the industrial training we used to give from the scratch towards any person who is going to join for the certification. Fine. Second, if you look at it, small thing, instead of 5, I'm changing the value. The first 2 statements are common. Import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP. Data equal to np.array A, B, C, D. 4 values I am assigned. PD.series of data, print of is. So when I am going to run this code, what happened? In the first program, I had only one value that I am assigning for all the rows. Now each and every sample is having the different value. So please look at the code. This is a code. Okay. Now I get into the another one. This is a dictionary. So A:0, B:1, C:2. Okay. A:0, B:1, C:2. In this way also I can assign it. I can show the effect of this series. Now I have this is index. Actually, left hand side, whatever I have index, this is the value, float value I have. Now I can explain. This is nothing but the pandas. So pandas as PD numpy, create a dictionary of series. So if you look at this program, how many attributes I have? Name, age, rating. 3 attributes I have: name, age, rating. For each attribute, I have the series. This is a 2-dimensional data set. For each data, I have certain values. Suppose for the age, 12 values I have assigned. And I'm creating the data frame. So what you can understand, import pandas as PD, df, this is the data frame, is equal to PD dot data frame of D. Print of data frame. And when I'm going to run this program, what happens? Just you see. Another 5 minutes, please you wait. This is the data set. So what I am actually doing, instead of invoking the data set from the public website, slowly and steadily, I am creating the data set from the scratch. So mean, name, age, rating, I have 12 records. In the PPT slide, I happen to show certain data set. Now, practically, I'm doing name, age, rating, and I'm displaying the mean of this age, rating. Here you can use the term df.mean. That's all. Reindex of 0, 1. Only I am picking the 2 rows. I am picking only 2 rows. That's all. Again, I show only certain effects of data pre-processing. I set that missing value, right? Yeah. Let me explain this program. First, I run this program, then you can understand. Import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP. PD.data frame, randomization 5, 3. 5 rows and 3 columns. 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. 5 rows I have. Index is A, C, E, F, H. So I'm doing the reindex. Why I am doing the reindex? For showing the effect of the missing value. When I run this program, I tell you, as far as the programming is concerned, you have to enjoy by yourself. Slowly, you have to study. Now, you please understand, I am the founder and CEO of the company, but I am showing the very fundamental concepts as well as advanced concepts, mathematical programming also, very small program and very big code. We will be able to explain, and we have sufficient knowledge. Okay. If you look at these programs, you can understand certain things. A, C, E, F, H, 5 rows are there, 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. And this is a randomization values. Why this randomization is occurring? Because of this np.random.randn of 5, 3. And now, reindex of A, B, C, D, E, F, A, G, H. Actually, in the previous index, I have only A, C, E, F, H. First time I'm displaying the data set. Second time, because of the reindex, in the original program, the original data set, I have the index column A, C, E, F, H. But when I'm going to do the reindex, for the purpose of showing the missing value, want only I introduce B, D, and G. For these 3 rows, I do not have values. B, D, G. Some values appear over there. NaN. What is the meaning? Not a number. NaN. Not a number refers to missing value, not a number. This is what practically we are doing like this. Suppose theoretically, normally what happens even after studying data mining subject, explain the functionalities of data pre-processing. Anyone can write data cleaning, data transformation. They can get 5 out of 5. But when they come to the industry, we ask the people to write a Python program for finding the missing value. Now you drop it immediately in front of me. They have to do it. So NaN is not a number. This is a missing value. This missing value occurs against the rows B, D, and G. Okay. Now, want only I have shown the power of the missing value. Next step, what I am doing, I am removing the missing value. For removing the missing value, I use a concept called df.drop NA. Because of the drop NA associated with the pandas. So again, original data set I am having. Original data set I am having. Like this, lot of concepts are there. So suppose this is the data cleaning. So how I am doing the data cleaning, and again how I am doing the not null. Again, this is something. For example, not only I drop the missing value, I can fill the value by the missing value. I run this program. With this, probably I stop. Pandas clean fill NA backward. Not fill. What's happening? You please listen. When you look at this, first I show the program. The same program. Actually, I am making little bit changes in the previous version only. So up to this point, pandas as PD, numpy as NP, okay. And print, first time I'm printing the data frame. Second time also I'm printing the data frame, 3 times. So 5 rows and 3 columns, A, C, E, F, H, 1, 2, 3. And here I am doing the reindex. Because of this reindex only, this NaN is appearing. Up to this I explained. Now, if you look at the last statement, in the previous exercise, I was interested in dropping the missing value. So I used a drop NA. Now I want to fill the value. Fill NA of method equal to backfill. Fill NA of method equal to backfill. Because of this, what happens? If you look at the second row, B, NaN occurs, but because of the backfill method, it takes the values from the third record. The second record is taking the values from the third record. The second record is taking the values from the third record. Like this, lot of programs are there. Now, finally, I explain only one. Okay. Actually, any machine learning and deep learning applications can be run over collab.research.google.com. Please, audience, you can note down, students, collab.research.google.com. They are freely giving their own instances. And what you have to do, if you have the account, Gmail account, and you click, you can type this with respect to your account, you will be able to connect. That will be the connect. And I'm showing only one program, then you can run it. For example, this is from the deep learning. This will be the last discussion. Import numpy as NP. Suppose import numpy as NP, I already said. This is a keras dot models, sequential model, and layers. Layers means neural network, dense layer, activation layer. Now you are able to follow. And I want to use only optimizer function, model equal to sequential. Yes, sequential. And with respect to that CNN architecture, actually we didn't have time to explain. Anyhow, model.add dense and activation. Again, you can compile and you can construct a very big neural network. That's what I'm telling. After constructing big neural network, if you are going to train the neural network, what is happening? This is what simple example. Just I'm showing. Again, I run it. So it will run like this. So before training, after training, I'm showing the concept of the optimization algorithm from the gradient descent or ADA grad or ADA delta for finding out the for reducing the errors, as well as you can update the weights. Like this, lot of applications are there. Image classification application and so many applications are there. Text analytics and all these things I explained. I think with this probably I can close. Thank you. Thanks a lot for the opportunity given to me. Professor?
Yes, sir.
Any questions from the audience?
Only one question, I think. Kindly help to pick up the real-time data sets with the actual ranges of the parameters. The real-time data set. Yeah, it's not possible. The time consuming it is.
Yeah, sure. One day it's not possible, sir. Because possible. I wanted to show the full power of different packages. The people should understand.
Yeah, instead of the resource person, I am answering the question.
Yeah. Correct.
Because we take more time to elaborate everything.
Yeah. Very difficult because I can explain, but the audience may not be able to follow. That is a big problem. That's why I started from the scratch. I have gone up to some level. I stopped. And I was interested in explaining the application. I have given the something.
Okay. Can we, Ms. Kavita ma'am, tell me the vote of thanks. Yeah.
Sir,
yeah.
Now I call upon Kavita ma'am to propose the vote of thanks.
Yes. Good evening, one and all present here. I would like to thank our resource person, Mr. Srinivasan Thanukrishnan, founder and CEO of Glosys Technology Solutions Private Limited, for enlightening us with his vast knowledge of machine learning and deep learning. Thank you, sir. I extend my thanks to Dr. T. Velmurugan, Head of BCA Department, for providing the support to make the seminar successful. Thank you, sir. Also, thanks to students and my dear colleagues. Thank you once again to making it a great success. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Everybody got.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Can we end the broadcast?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.